All right, let's talk about Steven Universe. We got a couple interesting episodes here. One of them is the start of a really good arc. Let's start with Three Gems and a Baby. This is, like I mentioned with last week's episode, Gem Harvest. The Steven Universe doesn't have like traditional holiday episodes because Rebecca Sugar is Jewish, and I don't think she wanted to make Steven Jewish because it doesn't even feel right for the character, to be honest. But yeah, you know, um, so her this Christmas episode is just it's got a snowy atmosphere. That's all there really is to it, and they're all bundled up inside, telling the story of baby Steven, and we see the story of like how the gems kind of learned to adapt to what Steven was. They didn't really understand what Steven was at the time because Steven was just this baby, and you know, so Garnet kind of assumed they kidnapped Steven from Greg, and you know, you get this beautiful song that Rebecca Sugar. And actually, if you listen to this reason why Rebecca Sugar wrote this song, it's because she learned the series ending, and this is how she felt about the series ending, which is pretty sad. But basically, this episode is a pretty funny comedic episode, but it's also a really sad episode because you see how all the gems were grieving at the time. Garnet thinks that Steven's some kind of weird fusion. Amethyst thinks that she's a shapeshifter. Pearl thinks that Rose is trapped inside Steven's gem. It's kind of a whole really sad episode, but it's a good episode. It's really sweet in the end of it. Steven's dream is a whole different episode. So basically, this episode is a crazy episode. Steven starts having dreams of this palanquin and someone crying. And he doesn't know why, but it's in another part of the world in Korea. So the gems won't take him there. He doesn't know why. He's kind of pissed off. So he goes there, and they go to see the gems about it, and they won't take him. And so Andy flies him there, which is a pretty good callback to like literally 2 episodes ago. And they fly to see this place, and they find out that Steven finds out he's been crying Blue Diamond's tears, who's been grieving over Pink Diamond all this time. And then, since Greg's with Steven, Blue Diamond adopts Greg, and Garnet reveals the reason that she didn't tell Steven the truth about what was going on is because she saw a future where the Blue Diamond found the crystal gems and everything got screwed up. And she just couldn't let that future happen. She saw this happening, but now they're going to go back up to space, and they're going to rescue Greg, and everything will be okay. But yeah, that's just kind of the start of this episode now, where we have to wait to see Greg be rescued because Garnet kind of failed as a leader here in a way that I understand her decision making, but it was still not great decision making. I do have an issue with this episode, to be honest. It's a good episode, but I do think the big issue is like, I feel like Steven's moment where he's yelling at the gems needed a little more build up of other episodes where the gems refuse to tell him stuff, and he starts to be a little bit more annoyed over time. I didn't feel like Steven had really matured into that character yet, who would lash out the way he did. In this case, he really needed to know, but it's still like, I don't know. It's a great moment, but it feels weird a little bit, and I just feel like it needed a little bit more build up too. But we will talk about the rest of this arc. Well, kind of, yeah, I probably will do the next 4 episodes in one big video, and then talk about the other 2, and then we'll move on to some more episodes. Let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe.